Let me ask you something. How is it possible that two people working full-time jobs, making more money than either of them ever made alone, still feel like they're barely keeping their head above water? Because I hear this all the time. Nate, we make over $150,000 a year combined, and somehow we're still stressed. We still check our bank account before buying groceries. We still argue about money. And here's the part that really messes with people. If one of you lost your job tomorrow, everything would collapse. Mortgage, car payments, childcare, lifestyle. And you're thinking, wait, aren't two incomes supposed to make life easier? Here's the thing. For millions of households, two incomes didn't create freedom. They created a trap. My name is Nate, and I spend way too much time thinking about why people who earn good money still feel broke. If you're someone who thought, once we're a two-income household, money stress will finally go away, but instead you feel more pressure, more risk, and more anxiety, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Let's challenge a belief that almost nobody questions. Two incomes are safer than one. On the surface, that sounds obvious. More money, more stability, more cushion. But here's what most people don't realize. Two incomes don't automatically make you safer. They often make you more fragile. Because safety isn't about how much money comes in. It's about how dependent your life is on that money continuing. And this is where it gets really interesting. According to Federal Reserve survey data, the median dual-income household spends roughly 85 to 90% of their take-home pay. Nearly 60% of households cannot cover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt, and dual-income households are actually more likely to have higher fixed expenses than single-income households. Two incomes, but less margin. Why? Because humans don't upgrade income, they upgrade lifestyle. Here's how the two-income trap actually forms. It doesn't happen overnight. It happens in tiny, logical steps. You move in together or get married. Now there are two paychecks. So you think, okay, we can afford a better place. We can afford newer cars. We can live closer to work. We can afford better schools. None of this feels reckless. It feels responsible. But what quietly happens is your fixed expenses rise to require both incomes. Now neither income is optional anymore. Instead of money giving you freedom, money starts demanding obedience. Let's put real numbers to this. Couple A makes $80,000 on one income. After tax, that's about $60,000. They spend $45,000 a year. That leaves $15,000 of breathing room. Now couple B makes $150,000 combined. After tax, that's around $105,000. Lifestyle upgrades happen. They spend $95,000 a year. They earn almost double, but have less safety. One missed paycheck and everything wobbles. High income with low margin is financial insecurity. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about risk. Most people think risk means stock market volatility. No, the biggest financial risk for most households is income interruption, and dual-income households often increase that risk without realizing it. Bigger mortgages, two car payments, childcare dependent on two jobs, less flexibility to relocate, less ability for one person to step back. You don't have two incomes, you have two obligations. Childcare is where this really hits. You think both people working makes sense. Then daycare costs $1,500 or even $2,000 per child. Commuting costs double, eating out increases, time disappears, and suddenly one person is working mostly to pay someone else to raise their kids. Now you might be thinking, Nate, we need both incomes. Sometimes that's true, but most people never actually run the math honestly. And here's the part spreadsheets don't show: burnout, stress, guilt, relationship tension, constant time pressure. Two incomes often create less time, less energy, and less resilience, so people spend more money to cope. Vacations become escapes instead of joy. Online shopping becomes emotional relief. Money becomes a source of stress instead of security. A lot of people say, at least we have a backup income. But when one income disappears, expenses don't magically drop. Stress skyrockets. Decision-making gets worse. The remaining income now carries everything. That's not safety. That's thin ice. Think of your household like a bridge. A strong bridge isn't just long, it's built with load capacity. Two incomes with no margin is a bridge operating at max weight every day. One crack, one job loss, one health issue, and the whole thing shakes. Here's what most people don't realize. The goal isn't maximizing income. The goal is minimizing required income. Freedom isn't earning more. Freedom is needing less. So, here's what you can actually do. First, calculate your one income survival number. Ask yourself, what's the minimum we can survive on one income? If that number scares you, that's the warning sign. Second, design your life so one income is enough. Treat the second income as extra. Debt payoff, investing, emergency savings, not lifestyle upgrades. Third, attack fixed expenses first. Housing, cars, subscriptions, debt. Lower fixed costs and everything gets easier. Fourth, build margin, not just savings. Margin means flexibility. Margin means options. Margin means sleeping better at night. Some of the most financially secure households I've ever seen don't earn the most. They don't drive the nicest cars. They don't live in the biggest houses, but they're calm because their life doesn't depend on everything going perfectly. Look, two incomes can be powerful, but only if one of them is optional. If your lifestyle requires both incomes, you're not rich, you're exposed. And the moment you design your life so one income is enough, money stops controlling you and starts working for you. If this video made you uncomfortable, good. That means you're thinking. Hit subscribe if you want more honest conversations about money that actually help you win long term. I'll see you in the next one.